Hey guys, okay, today I want to show you a couple different things. This is actually, I call it ratatouille. It's not actually ratatouille. A true ratatouille usually has eggplant in it or more of a protein base, but sometimes if you give things a cool name, they're a little bit more exciting to eat. So that is kind of what I call it. Plus, I feel like I could show you lots of different things kind of as we're going. Now, I usually start with oil. You don't have to, but again, remember that fat does add a little bit of flavor, and it's kind of one of those things that this will add quite a bit to your ratatouille. Sorry, my dog might go crazy. But it does add a little bit of flavor, so I try to add it to that. Now, I went ahead and cleaned all of the vegetables and washed my hands and pulled my hair back. Remember, before we get started, you always want to wash your hands and pull your hair back. So I went ahead and did that, and I cleaned all the vegetables just to save time. The other day, I had shown you how to clean a pepper. If you want to kind of go back to that video and kind of watch. So for this, I'm going to do a red pepper and a yellow pepper. If you guys remember, I love sweets, so obviously the colored peppers are my favorite. And here's the cool thing about this recipe. And I know if you are in like one of the classes that we're just starting to cook, creative living or smart food, smart money, we talk a lot about following a recipe. I do have a recipe up. So over here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but on my phone, I do have a recipe. I do have that because I like it. I will kind of refer back to it. But ratatouille is kind of one of those random things that you can kind of add whatever you have. And for today, basically that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn this on. We're going to turn that on medium and get that oil kind of heated up just a little bit. And then I'm going to start with the peppers. Okay, because these are a little bit more dense. We're going to put red and yellow pepper, and then we're going to do zucchini and squash. And I want to show you with the zucchini how we're going to use the food processor. So again, I remember the other day, if you're watching these in sequence, I had shown you, and if you kind of see, sometimes when I cut peppers, I'll just kind of put them like this, always cutting down and away from myself toward the cutting board. Okay, we can go ahead and mix these. I do have all of the seeds out of them, but if a seed gets left in there, it's not going to hurt anybody. Okay, I'm going to dice these up. These do not have to all be the same size. So if we were talking about a protein, we would want it to be similar in size because of the way that it would cook. That actually is one of my kids climbing on here. They're not allowed in here. So we'll see how they do, if they can actually kind of withstand that or not. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to add these in. And we're not going to fry. We're just going to saute. So if you remember, the saute is kind of like our fancy word for fry. But it's going to cook them really quickly. Just to kind of get a little bit of crispiness on them. And it can kind of happen the entire time that we're going. Now, if you like softer vegetables, just let them cook for a longer amount of time. Completely up to you. This is going to be personal preference. Also putting in whatever vegetables you have, whatever vegetables you want to use. Sometimes I'll make this more like a soup. So I do have out the chicken broth, chicken bouillon over there, because we're out of chicken broth. And so I will probably make mine a little bit more soupy, but you don't have to, okay? You can kind of do it however you want. I'm going to leave those out and kind of munch on those. Add these in. Once I get my peppers added, we'll kind of stir those up a little bit. If you watched the other day, or the other one, I kind of talked about how typically I will use a wooden spoon or a rubber scraper. That just seems to work best for us here. Now, yellow squash and zucchini, okay? They do have a different purpose. Just going to wipe this off real quick. I'm not going to make the entire thing because you watching me chop up vegetables for the next 20 minutes, even if you are bored, nobody really wants to do that. So I'm just going to kind of show you what this looks like. You do not have to cut the outside of the skin off, but if you can kind of see, I am not good at all at remembering about the lighting on this, and then I just kind of cut it in strips. Again, if you're looking up recipes of ratatouille, a lot of times people will do it they'll cut them in really pretty rings. Mine is not pretty. If you remember from class, I don't usually focus on food necessarily looking as pretty. You want it to look good because it needs to be appetizing. But as far as, making it look super gorgeous, and those are just kind of rough chunks, okay? Just so you can kind of see. I kind of got those roughly chunked up. I'm going to add those in. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the zucchini. I'm actually going to do the zucchini 2 ways. And the first way I'm going to do it is in the food processor, which if you have, I'm going to have to wash my hands again, but if you can kind of see the food processor there. I like the food processor. A lot of people use it. A lot of people don't. I do because if you remember, I love zucchini. So as long as I can get zucchini, you will probably see me do multiple labs, multiple different videos with zucchini, because it's like, in my opinion, it's one of the magic foods that you can do so much with. And again, it is sweet. So I'm just cutting this in long strips to make it easier to kind of put it down in. And if you notice, I have this attachment, which is my shredder. I have the shredder attachment on there, okay? So you lock the bowl. These are all different. This is one we've had for a while, but I love it. I use it a lot. A lot of people don't ever use it. When we did peppers, you might remember we used them then, okay? Just going to put it in, turn it on. Okay. Now, here's the cool thing about the zucchini. The zucchini actually will act like a noodle, which I will try to do a video of the zucchini. I have a spiralizer that I love to use, and I'll show you that. So I'll kind of add these in. And then we're just going to give it a quick stir. Everything, all of our flavors in there, those ones will go together kind of nicely. You choose whatever you want to add. Okay? I'm going to set that in the sink. Come back to it later. One more thing I want to show you, and then we're going to do some measuring real quick. A can opener. I'm going to add diced tomatoes. If tomatoes were in season, so like when tomatoes are in season, I always use, oh gosh, you kind of see. So mine is a handheld. I know a lot of people like the electric. I've always liked the handheld. This one's kind of making me mad though. I forgot about that before I did this. I'm going to use all the juice from the tomatoes too. Again, just because I like mine a little bit more soupy. Okay. Ooh. I don't want my lid to fall in. Let's scoop that out. I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Add my tomatoes in. Now, we'll rinse that out for later. We want to recycle it. Always a good thing to do. I saw that some places are no longer taking recycling right now. Kind of crazy. Okay, then we're going to add in some seasonings. Now, we're going to add, I'm going to start with basil. I love basil. A lot of people don't. And it'll kind of catch you off guard maybe a little bit and make you sneeze. But I always wait till I add I either add the seasoning when I add my oil or when I add the tomatoes. Remember, when we are measuring, we're putting it in, we're leveling, and then we're going to pour it in. Okay? For our garlic, because a full teaspoon of garlic is going to be a lot. I'm going to do a half a teaspoon. Same thing. I'm just going to pour it on. I could scoop it out, but since I am using the same thing, I don't necessarily have to do that. I'm going to level that off. I'm going to pour that in. And then this also calls for a half teaspoon of thyme, which again, I would say that's on the higher end. So you have to kind of figure out what you like. We're just going to tap, tap. We're going to level, and then we're going to add that in. Okay. And like everything, it does call for salt and pepper, but that's going to be up to you and kind of whatever you want, you know, however much you want to add. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay. So honestly, that's pretty much it. Now, I did mention that I will probably make mine a little bit soupier because I like that. But I'll let this cook down a little bit. Zucchini has a lot of water in it. We'll let that cook down. And then if I decide I want some more liquid, I will add some chicken broth. You could add vegetable broth. Honestly, you could even add beef broth probably. And then we'll kind of go from there. But that is basically Ratatouille in a nutshell, just kind of to show you a couple of different things. The can opener, the food processor, how to chop your vegetables. I did not show you how to clean them today because I already showed you with the pepper. But remember that you always have to clean it, okay? You always want to make sure that you wipe everything off, even if you are cooking it, all right? If you have any questions, guys, I would love to hear from you, all right? I would love to see your videos of you cooking. I will see you guys soon. I'll post a picture of what this looks like too when it's done. Bye.